So my dad says driving this thing is like holding a flashlight out the window at night. I don't blame him because these headlights look absolutely terrible, and I hope we can fix them. Today what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to restore these headlights with this 3M, this is the Ultra Headlight Restoration Kit. I used this kit once before to restore the headlights on a Kia that I was flipping. So Dad said, hey, can you try it on my headlights? Well, yeah, sure, we can give that a shot. They're pretty bad though. So I'm gonna ask a big ask from you guys out there. Tag Morimoto or Raptor Lighting or somebody down below and see if we can't get my dad set up with some real headlights other than these terrible halogens. If not, perhaps we'll be doing an LED bulb upgrade or something later to blind everybody down the road, but maybe get my dad driving a little safer at night. For now, I'm Jason, welcome back to the shop, and this is my dad's 2016 F150. Let's get these headlights polished. Let's pop open our kit and see what we get in here. Get our instructions. Let's see, some gloves and a bunch of different little sanding discs for this little wheel here. This looks like it'll fit really well in a drill. I wonder if I could use my grinder, or I have a polisher. It's a little M12 polisher. Oh man, this thing has been a life-changing tool when it comes to sanding and polishing. Nice variable speed, the wheel is great. It's not quite as soft as this one though. So let's see. But that'll go on there no problem. Okay, we might give this a shot. And we got a roll of tape, and then these are our headlight clear coat packets. Obviously, the better situation would be to have a body shop do this at like 10 times the cost, or to buy a can of 2K clear, but then you got to mask off a whole bunch more stuff, and these actually worked really well when I did them last time. When I did the last set of headlights, I supplemented with a bunch of my own sanding discs that were lower grit to get the stuff to cut off easier, and in between 8 and 3000. We're gonna try to do this a little bit more by the book and see if we can get some real results without adding to it. It would definitely be easier to get all the corners and edges if we popped the headlight out, but Ford doesn't exactly make it easy to get this stupid thing out. I was talking to my dad this morning and he said, you know what, just don't worry about those corners too much. I just want this better so that I can see. Yeah, okay, Pop, I hear you. I was thinking, man, we're using sandpaper. I hope the tape is good. Yeah, it's pretty damn good, actually. It does recommend in the instructions to do 2 layers, which makes sense because you don't want to accidentally cut through your tape. This pad is a little stiff, though. I might need to use their pad in order to get a nice clean sanding, or I gotta apply more pressure. I definitely want to use their pad. This one is just, it's too stiff. Option number 2, we're using our die grinder with 4 settings on number 1, because it's quite a bit slower than number 4, which is really fast. Oh yeah, that's much better this way because I have a much smoother contact surface. It's getting a little hot though. I might want to wet sand to keep it a little cooler. Let's try that. Yeah, that's definitely working better. It's not burning. It's throwing this stuff everywhere, but that's what the car wash membership is for. I need to put my apron on because I'm shooting this crap everywhere. Ta-da! This is definitely better. Nothing my wife hates more than sending all sorts of crap through our washing machine. Well, it's certainly Doing a hell of a job. With the fun contours of the marker light right there, I did have to do quite a bit of sanding by hand all around that thing, but that little bit of sanding by hand did make it work. After using almost all the 500 grit, I'm not able to get all of the clear coat off with this 500. I'd need something much more aggressive. But what I am finding is using the high-speed die grinder leaves a much, much better finish than throwing a drill up there. When you put a drill on it, it leaves a very coarse finish. So I think that using the die grinder speed is going to give me a cleaner look, but it's also much more delicate because it wants to burn. So combination of water and being really quick on wiping everything off. 800 grit, let's see what it does. Certainly throwing a lot of dust, just like the 500 did. Which means I'm gonna have to be really careful not to overheat it. This is probably why they tell you to use a medium speed drill. But who has the patience or time for that? I mean, come on. That's why we have these super duper fast tools, right? Well, when you wipe it off, it's definitely getting a lot of those sanding marks out. These funny shapes, you're never gonna get done with a drill. So do your best by hand. I found that putting a paper towel or something in there helps you to form in much better versus trying to use your finger and getting a bunch of hard lines. All right, last step. This is our 3000 grit paper. I kind of wish the kit had a few more grits in between 800 and 3000, but it is what it is. So this one, we do it wet. Got a little water on here already. We're just gonna go nice and slow and polish away. It's not gonna become clear. Clear will happen when we put on our polish compound or sealant. That's what the word I was looking for. This is just making the sanding marks a little bit more finite, smoothing things out so that the clear coat can just fill those gaps. All right, after the 3000 grit, it's looking pretty damn good, but I can't leave anything well enough alone. So I've got a wool pad here on my polisher. And I'm gonna try the plastic polish on it. Let me show you what it looks like here right now. You can see it looks worlds better than it did. I've got much better clarity. There's still some of that clear coat down here. Now, something to keep in mind through this whole ordeal here is if you take care of your headlights and you keep a good UV protective coating, whether it be ceramic or wax or sealant or whatever on there, it'll help to prevent this from happening. But that also is going to depend a little bit on the quality of your headlights. And I don't know that these had such a great coating on them in the first place. But it certainly wouldn't hurt to put a ceramic on your headlights, make sure they get waxed and keep them clean. This wool pad just sucks this stuff right in. This little bump out thing is a pain in the butt to try to polish around. Must have been a requirement since there's no side marker over here besides on the mirrors. Yeah, they're on the mirrors on this one. To get the angle right? I don't know. Probably some stupid government rule. Can't we just have fun with our cars? Right now, it just looks like a couple-year-old headlight that's had some wear on it. A few extra steps here, and we're doing pretty darn good. I was a little concerned this wasn't gonna work. I'm gonna use a little isopropyl and a shop towel. Watch my dumbass fog this headlight up. If I'd have used acetone, it definitely would have done that. Just eaten right through this plastic. The isopropyl will clean it nicely without damaging it. All right, next steps. Need to clean up all this goo and everything. Get the tape off. Make sure the headlights are nice and clean. I'm also gonna clean this engine bay because I cannot stand a dirty engine bay. And as luck would have it, I'm probably gonna be the one to work on it next. So, can't have this being all gross. So here's the plan for the clear coat. You get 2 packets and it says to apply 2 coats. So we're going to apply the first coat starting on the driver's side and then the passenger side. And then when we go to apply the second coat, we'll start on the passenger side and then the driver's side. It says to wear a glove as you're applying it. If you get bubbles, slow down, you're going too fast. 25 to 50% overlap, start at the top, work your way to the bottom. Don't get it on the paint. Just in case, I'm throwing my safety glasses on. It also says not to unfold it, but to keep a crisp edge. Okay, and we're just gonna keep going back and forth. Back and forth. Pretty sure that's from a movie. I just can't remember what movie it's from. Oh, got a little run there. I must have been squeezing too hard around this edge. Okay, that looks like a decent coat. Do the other side. I'm gonna flip the wipe for this side. Hopefully getting coverage from the other side of the whole thing. Maybe there was more moisture on that side and I wiped it all out of the one side. I will say, this is looking pretty good. All right, it's the next day and the headlights had time to cure overnight. And let me give you my general impressions. They look freaking awesome. They have almost perfect clarity. I did get one little streak on one of them as I was wiping and I didn't notice it as I was wiping, but that's okay. It did take 2 of these things to get both headlights done. They weren't in the worst shape that I've seen, but they were also not great. Now on the second headlight that I didn't film, I kind of got a little bit short on patience. I don't know. So I broke out some 320 grit to sand it down faster by hand. And that was just plain a mistake. See, the 320 grit put scratches into it that were a little too thick to get out easily. What that meant was I went through this entire stack of the little sanding discs because the 500 plugged up pretty quick, wasn't quite aggressive enough to get those 320 scratches out quickly. So it took longer than it probably should have. I got all the scratches out though. I feel really good about the way it looks. But it wound up costing me more time. You know, the old saying that a shortcut isn't always a shortcut. It's where you get lost in the woods. Or did I just make that up? I don't know. It worked out great though. In the end, yeah, it took longer than I wanted to. All in all, with the tools that I had, it took like 3 hours. It says 40 minutes. It's really gonna depend on your situation. Now, for me, I used a combination of my M12 buffer, my M12 die grinder, which spins way faster, and my drill. At the end of the day, I think had I just used the drill, it probably would have been better because the pads didn't overheat, the plastic didn't overheat with the speed of the drill, even on my slowest settings on both of my other guys. However, when it came to the polishing, the M12 buffer, fabulous, because I could actually use a buffing wheel with it and get a nice smooth coat. Could you do that with just your 3000 grit? Yeah, these little 3000 grit pads worked amazingly well to make them look really nice before putting on the clear coat. So what are you supposed to do now? Well, go down into the link, the comment, buy the kit, give it a shot on your car, and then come back and post in the comments to let us know how it worked out. If you take your time, it's gonna work out great. And if you don't, you're probably gonna have to spend more time on it like I had to because I got in a rush and I was like, I can make this go faster. And it just didn't happen. We're trying to get to 15,000. Like and subscribe down below. Send me a comment, do other things. Membership's now active. You get to see the videos beforehand and you'd get a shout out at the end. There are no members right now, so I'm gonna shout out all you guys for watching anyhow because I love you and I appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one.